Hello guys, today I've got to talk about my views on the differences between Hong Kong, Macau and mainland China. Uh, I've been to China, I've lived there, like I said in my previous videos, for 1 year. And recently I visited China again, and I visited Hong Kong and Macau for the first time. So let's talk about Macau first. So I am Brazilian, I speak Portuguese as a mother tongue, and I went to Macau, wanted to know if I could speak Portuguese with people on the streets. And I didn't find people speaking Portuguese on the street. Uh, Although Portuguese is one of the official languages of Macau, since Portuguese lived there, they kind of colonized the area. Uh, Actually, you don't see people speaking Portuguese on the streets. Apparently, I looked it up on the internet, and it seems like 5% of the population really speak Portuguese, really speak the language. Most of the people don't. And although you can see Portuguese stuff written everywhere, every sign is written in Portuguese. In my case, I went to Macau through the Hong Kong Macau Zhuhai Bridge, the longest bridge in the world. The Chinese constructed to go between the three cities, Zhuhai in China, Hong Kong, and Macau. And when we got to the station, like you have to pass through immigration. We saw everything in Portuguese. And they have their own laws, and let's say they have their own money, the pataka, the name of the money there, the currency, their own government. Of course, the police is Chinese, because China, this a military thing, is Chinese, even in Hong Kong too. The only thing that's really Chinese there is the police. And we took a bus from the bus station to downtown, and all the announcements in the bus are made in four languages: in Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese Chinese, English, and Portuguese, with more of a European Portuguese accent. And then so I see, like, you feel like you're in China, in Macau, but it's a bit different. Like, you see churches, Catholic churches everywhere, in some place in the city, and the food. You have some Portuguese cuisine in Macau. Since I'm Brazilian, I felt this familiar taste. In Brazil, we also inherited some of the Portuguese cuisine. And then the casinos, right? We went to the casinos. I didn't gamble. I didn't bet anything. I'm so unlucky. So I didn't try. I would lose my money. I'm not lucky. And then it's funny enough, in some places they accept Hong Kong dollar. If you don't have the pataka of Macau, you can use Hong Kong dollar. Maybe sometimes the change they return to you in pataka. They returned me a coin of 5 patakas, and I brought it home as a souvenir. I like to collect coins, and maybe one day I'll make a video about my coins. So that's it. Macau is you feel there's a Chinese atmosphere going on, but you feel that's different. So what about Hong Kong? Well, Hong Kong is a bit different. In my point of view, it's like you're not in China, you're somewhere else. The culture, everything is different. I don't know how to explain. The atmosphere is different. So you can find more people speaking English in Hong Kong than you would find people speaking Portuguese in Macau. The announcements in the subway, in the metro, they are made in 3 languages: Mandarin Chinese, Cantonese Chinese, and English. I had a hard time trying to speak Mandarin with people there, because most of them speak Cantonese, is the official language, is that region of China. Cantonese is a very strong language. In Macau, I could speak Mandarin with some people, maybe because of some, let's say, immigrants that come from mainland China to Macau. And then I remember to ask for direction, to ask where the bathroom was, something like that in a restaurant in Mandarin, and the waitress, she answered me. In Hong Kong, it was quite hard to talk in Mandarin with people. So you'd better speak in Cantonese if you can. Mandarin and Cantonese are really different. There are some similarities, but it's different. Also, the writing system in Macau and Hong Kong, they use the traditional Chinese writing system, and it has more strokes than in the simplified Chinese that they use in mainland China. And but I could speak English almost everywhere in Hong Kong. You can use Google and Facebook and stuff in Hong Kong and Macau. So if you want to know the metro, the subway, the underground times, and if the train is coming or leaving, you can use Google Maps, and it works perfectly. You don't need a VPN like mainland China. You need it. There are some restrictions about the internet in China. So the metro in Hong Kong is so easy to use. I think one of the easiest I have used in my life. So in China, yes, in still talking about Hong Kong. It's very different. It's like being another country. I don't know. They also have their own government, their own money, the Hong Kong dollar, and their own laws. But definitely, again, the police is Chinese. The military, this area is really Chinese. So when you go to China, to mainland China, to the continent, it's a bit different too. I haven't been to this part of China where they speak Cantonese. I have been to the central China and to Beijing. So the culture is a bit different too. I don't know how to explain that. Chinese is a Chinese and Hong Kong is Hong Kong. So for example, in China you have restrictions about the internet, like you can't use Facebook, you can't access Facebook, you can't access Google, and all the subsidiaries, let's call like that. If you can't access Google, it's hard to access like Gmail or YouTube. Android, I mean Android belongs to Google, but since Android is an open source software, an open source system, they have their customized versions of Android in China. And so if you can't use Facebook, it means that you also can't use Instagram and WhatsApp. And I think you can't use Twitter too. I didn't try. But anyway, you can use Yahoo and Bing, and I think all the Microsoft products you can use there. Of course, you can use a VPN. But is it illegal to use a VPN in China? As far as I know, it's like a gray area. This you shouldn't use. But if you use and you don't do anything like you don't try to get much attention, you don't try to get too much into politics or things like that, you won't be in trouble. I used it to talk with my family here during the trip and to post pictures of the beautiful places I've been. So I didn't cause any trouble. I didn't try to talk about politics or show something on the streets to cause controversy. So maybe the Chinese authorities, they won't like stop you on the streets to ask if you are using a VPN or not. So use common sense, okay? If you want to use your phone there, the internet, you can buy a SIM card. We had to buy a different SIM card for Hong Kong and a different SIM card for mainland China. I didn't buy one for Macau. I stood only one day there and I was going to come back. I used Wi-Fi from the places I was visiting, and they don't have many options to buy SIM cards in China. I think you can buy only from the 3 main companies there, and ask for the person in the counter to the place where you buy the SIM card to configure it for you. Maybe there are some specific configurations, and if you don't know how to do it yourself. Don't do it yourself. Ask the person at the counter to do it. I have some friends that went there and they kind of had trouble using it because they didn't know how to configure the SIM card and they just didn't work. They had to throw it away and use only the Wi-Fi. If you know how to use a VPN, use it. As I said, use common sense. Don't try to get too polemic, too controversial. And don't try to get controversial in China at all, okay? Remember that. If you don't want to use a VPN or if you don't know how to use one, you can use WeChat. It's like a Chinese WhatsApp, a Chinese Facebook Messenger. You can install it and ask your friends to install it back home, your family, and then you can send messages and talk to your family using it. Because the problem about the VPN is that the internet gets kind of slow with it. And sometimes if you want to make a video call using a VPN, yeah, it's complicated. Like I remember I tried to make a video call using WhatsApp, and then I had to use WeChat. So the internet would work. Yeah, also since you're using a VPN, you can use Google Maps in China. But the thing is, since Google is not officially there, maybe the maps are not up to date. Sometimes the schedules, the train schedules, like in Shanghai, the metro schedules won't be accurate. So I had to use Baidu. It's like a Chinese Google. The problem with Baidu Maps is that I was only able to use it in Chinese. Although the station's names are in English, all the signs, they are in Chinese and in English. There was this problem with the software, with Baidu Maps. It was in Chinese, so if you can read some Chinese, okay. And it's pretty accurate, the schedules, Baidu Map ones. And Google Maps, you can try to use it, maybe it won't be accurate. I don't know exactly if it's on purpose, like if I don't want to try to get controversial here, but maybe for national security reasons. I don't know if China gives Google or provides Google with the accurate maps, but the maps in Baidu will be pretty accurate. And so it depends on your ability to read Chinese and understand Chinese. It depends if you can use a VPN. It depends, maybe in the future, maybe Google and Chinese government will have an agreement or something. But these are my views on the differences between Hong Kong, Macau and mainland China. Cultural differences, there are some. Political differences, there are many. How this will affect your experience traveling and visiting there? Well, actually, not that much. I had a good time in China. I had a good time in Hong Kong and Macau. And by the way, you have to go through immigration in Hong Kong and in Macau, and then in mainland China. If you go from one another multiple times in a day, like using the bridge, you will have to go through immigration all the times you go. It's a bit tiring and annoying sometimes. You have to fill those forms and stuff. But well, that's what it is, right? And yes, I'm from Brazil. Brazil is a tropical country, so I have that yellow fever international card, the vaccination card. If you are from some countries like Brazil and other tropical ones, you'd better take with you. It's not like they will always ask you, but it's good to have it with you. The only place they actually asked me was in Macau. It was a bit bureaucratic to enter Macau. Maybe the Portuguese inherited thing. Brazil inherited this from Portugal too, this bureaucracy. I kind of felt at home there. So these are my views. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like this video, like it, subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, tell me in the comments why you didn't like my video. So that's it, guys. Bye.